Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today to work on the Escape from Kiln event, now officially being live. I'm going to be working through all the cells up to the max difficulty that we're going to be able to reach. Obviously, at the end of the day, I want to see if I can actually earn at least up until cell 40, which is where ultimately the one Gwenem diamond here is going to get rewarded. But as you can see here, there's tons and tons of training materials, gold, resources, so you definitely want to be making the most of it while you can. I don't think I'm going to be going beyond cell 40, but we will see. In today's video, we're going to be working on the first cells, but I'm going to be making sure all my videos are documented and linked below, so that way all the videos will have separate parts. That way it's not going to be too lengthy of a video. So guys, let's get right to it. Starting with these initial 4 cells, you do want to bring in characters that are going to be generating energy to prepare for future nodes. So I'm going to bring in Rogue Thanos that gives energy to Val. Just that way we can prepare some of their abilities here and getting started. So always be planning in advance here. Obviously it helps out for sure. So I'm probably not going to be using any of their abilities, more so just for them to get the turn, getting ability energy, and again prepping for later on where it's going to matter. Obviously if you guys have characters that are lower level difficulty here, then you may actually have to be more strategic, but you shouldn't have issues in these initial nodes just because of how squishy some of these characters are. And it's really the later nodes that you have those gear tier requirements that you're going to be needing to be mindful of. So as you can see, we got some really good energy there for Val and Rogue. They're basically ready to go here for when they are going to be called upon and to provide their services. So I did have some preset teams already made, so that way we're going to be ripping through this. So this one's a good one. I'm going to be taking a look at the next one here. I like this one too because of the horsemen. The fact that we'll be using them likely later on in the deeper legendary stages. The fact that these 3 are going to be ready in gear tier 18. So remember, the legendary section does actually need gear tier 18 characters. But I loved Archangel and having him being able to generate energy as well as being able to give the passives attacks here, as you can see. So making short work of that. These first 3-4 cells are really about preparation. And that's what it's all going to be coming down to, especially later on when we have those initial turns. Absolutely huge, guys. I can't stress that enough. So we'll keep trucking along here. 200,000 total team power. And we're just working down our list here of characters like prepping. I think Super Skrull, Nightcrawler, they're a good one because if you can get a turn 1 ultimate with Nightcrawler later on in those mutant nodes, it's going to be absolutely massive just to have that preparation. Aim for Red Skull in the beginning here just because he has some really good abilities if you guys are lower rankings here or you're in a newer account. But what I do like about Escape from Kiln is the fact that we're theory crafting with 3 characters on your team, and just even this preparation stage, it does matter later on when you're getting a turn 1. Unfortunately, we didn't really get too many turns there. As you can see, they easily cleaned up, but at least we were able to get a couple of attacks in. And then I believe this is the last one. This is the last one with no restrictions. So let's see what else I have in the docket here. Yeah, nothing crazy. To be honest, maybe I could just throw in my Pegasus team. I'm planning to use these 3 characters later on for Pegasus, but I don't know if I'm going to be needing their energy, to be honest, because if you have a character like Darkhawk, he's going to be getting energy anyway. So this is a good one. I don't know if I would recommend this, but let's just see how they are. Yeah, so Rescue typically, she could get her ultimate turn 1, but if someone falls already on the team too, you're going to be getting that. And then Iron Man, Infinity War does already have his abilities, so this one's kind of wasted, to be honest. I wouldn't recommend this if you guys are watching. Maybe go back and utilize another one of the previous teams I've already listed, or another character or team that you're trying to build up towards, right? So first 4 cells, super smooth. Now we're working on the ones that actually do require specific traits. So with this one, I do actually have the Infinity Watch. I know you can also bring in characters that are also Guardians, so obviously characters like Annihilation, Star-Lord, and so forth. But I think Infinity Watch is the best mixture because they have some good synergy with each other. The assisted attacks with Nebula, and then Gamora being offensive output. And then we do have, capabilities coming from Adam Warlock, obviously, with the stun if need be. But this should be very straightforward. These characters are a bit stronger, but we're not going to be needing these characters later on, so that's why I don't really care about their abilities. I'm just going to use them right away. They're going to be ripping through this very smoothly. And to be honest, guys, I don't know which cell I'm stopping yet as I'm recording, just because I don't know how long I want to make the videos yet. But I'm just going to keep going, and then we'll stop it and keep going, and obviously I'll have all the different videos out. So same story here. This is Guardians or Infinity Watch. If you guys have already built up Nowhere team, including some of those key Guardian characters, then it might make more sense. Aim for T'Challa at the beginning here. that's going to spawn here, the Dad Brothers. But like I said, if you guys do have all these characters built up already, these initial stages aren't typically where people will be struggling unless you're a brand new player in the game. But even if you're in the mid game, you're going to have easy short work of this, especially with these characters only being 27, 30k a piece. I believe that's not even gear tier 13. I think that's like gear tier, you can probably get by gear tier 11, gear tier 12 maybe. So super smooth. I'm glad they didn't really increase the difficulty, but they did raise the ceiling for how you're going to be getting rewards, right? Because before, if you got to sell 40, I think that's where it rewarded you the 3 diamond. Well, that's not the case anymore, as you just saw, right? In order to get even just 1 diamond, it's to sell 40. So unfortunately, the reward actually got worse for us, but it is what it is. We're gonna be doing our best. I know last time when I did this event as well in January, I only got to like sell 31 or 32, and that's because I didn't have my Pegasus built up, and I couldn't really partake in the legendary section. So this is all gonna be brand new for me, guys. So I'm very pleased to be sharing this experience with you. But hopefully, if you guys are newer to the game or returning, this is a super exciting game mode. I just love the fact that theory crafting aspect with 3 characters is pretty fun, and it's different. Switches things up, honestly. So we're through 7 cells already, guys. We're just ripping through this. So Avengers, lots of variety for Avengers, but the team I slotted in were characters I already invested in, so it's gonna be a cakewalk with these guys. But if you have other characters for the Avengers, I think obviously having the new Avengers too, they could be very good for this as well. If you had Secret Avengers, there's a bunch, right? But likely Magneto is going to be going first. I like Black Widow as a choice because she has a natural cleanse already, and I did bring her up higher before. Captain America is a pretty big one as well, just because he's used all across the board. Captain Sam, but these characters that we're dealing with, they're not that strong. I don't think I'm going to be using Captain America and Black Widow later anyway, so that's why I'm okay with using their abilities. But correct me if I'm wrong later on if I'm mistaken. Okay, cell 8. So we're making good progress. 7 minutes. So I might have to be, maybe I'll go up to cell 15. That'll be a good stopping point, and then I'll make the rest of the videos. But yeah, Avengers again. I'm just gonna keep using this mixture here. I don't believe these characters are used later on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But whatever works for your guys' roster. Again, these characters here should mainly be gear tier 12, gear tier 13. You should be able to rip through it if you have the right synergies and teams here. Darn, maybe I should have just actually focused on that Kraven, but that's okay, because these characters are just so squishy. Okay, especially with the power difference, right? So I'm just ripping through it. If you guys are watching this with lower team levels, hopefully this, I don't know how helpful it is, to be honest, but ideally, like I said, gear tier 12, 13, you're going to rip through it. So it really doesn't matter which teams, in my honest opinion. This one's probably going to be the hardest because we're actually up against a Black Order combination here. So if you are, punching them with the same kind of similar team level, this one could be tricky. But thankfully, we have all our characters much higher than obviously the opponents that we're up against here. So this is pretty big. So Captain Sam, I think, is really important because if you are planning to bring in that speed meter and so forth, just being able to do that to the enemies, providing ability energy back to the team. We're just sharing that all across the board. I don't have a lot of damage on this team, unfortunately, but the good news is we don't really need damage here, right? So there's gonna be a lot of Black Order. Then it does actually spawn some Asgardian characters as well. So I'm just constantly giving speed up, offense down. I think a big one to focus in this new spawn is going to be Loki and Hela, just because of the fact that they can do some pretty good work on us, especially with Loki's mind control. And ideally, taking Thanos down would have been, a priority, but because we're up against these enemies that are so much weaker than us, it doesn't really matter. But he should have been one that we should have been aiming for, just because he's tankier, and he would have been giving energy to his fellow Black Order teammates. So very straightforward, guys, as you can see, especially if you're punching down on these characters. Not too much craziness here. Now we are going to be going into more of the elevated nodes after this one. So this, I believe this is the last of the Avengers. So that's cell 10. We'll do a few more nodes here, and then we'll call it, and then we'll continue with the part 2 and part 3, because I think that's what it's going to take. So global skill, I do believe this is where the difficulty does ramp up. Now the cool thing about this one is that you can bring in you can bring in Black Knight himself specifically, but just keep in mind that you don't necessarily need him this early on. So I'm not going to use him because I definitely think he's going to just make it way too easy. So I'm going to bring in my invaders that I built up previously before. I think that at least they're going to be a value here, and it is going to take probably a little longer here, but my characters are still built up. So that's the good news. Take down Captain Carter. At least this will be some decent footage for you guys. It won't be completely useless. We're going to use the ultimate here from Iron Fist World War II. He does some great AoE damage and burst. And then we are actually just going to rewind these guys and just spread that energy across the board. So this team still gets it done. I think they're like gear tier 15. Some of them are gear tier 16, I believe. But they should be a good team for skill anyways for the global skill section here. Okay, we'll keep going up against Infinity Watch, and again, like you could bring in technically Black Widow, Black Knight, but they're just they're gonna just overpower these nodes, and it's too bad because we don't really get a chance to use Black Knight anywhere else. This is basically the only section. Aim for the damage dealers like Gamora. We're gonna be aiming for the assisted attacks such as Nebula here, and that's pretty much it here. They're the important linchpin of the Infinity Watch team. Moondragon can be good if there's characters to heal, but in this case, she's not going to be doing much. We'll summon those minions. I believe there's one more node here as well, so we're going to take advantage of that. But yeah, at least the invaders will be good for this one. If you guys have more of a baby invaders, kind of like how I do, like they're not crazy powerful, but you don't even need damage dealers, as you can see, because their supported buffs is really what puts this team over. Okay, finish off Moondragon there. It is going to spawn some more members here of the Nova team, so I recommend the Star-Lord. I definitely think Star-Lord Annihilation should be a priority. Use the ultimate there to do some more AoE burst. Adam Warlock's gonna get a second life, but that's okay. We just got so much buffs going on with invaders, which is kind of nice. So and then after that, I would focus on Cosmo, just because she might be healing and adding some additional buffs to Adam Warlock here. Not a big deal, but yeah, this 3-piece combination for invaders is easily getting the job done. They're really good, at least in that respect here for the 30 crafting aspect. I think honestly they probably could have got it done at gear tier 13, maybe gear tier 14, maybe. And then finally, this is the last node for the global skill. So we'll finish this up here. Not doing too bad. 12 minutes here, and we've been able to get through basically a minute node. Not too bad. Okay, so obviously with this one, we do need to be mindful of magic because she can bring back Phoenix. So we're going to be targeting her. Phoenix is likely going to get the taunt here, as you can see. So this one, we might have to play it a little bit more careful. But yeah, the cooldown we weren't really managing. Dark Phoenix is going to get summoned here, so we definitely need to be focused on her. And then the taunt is going to land as well. So at least we're giving you guys, at least this is not like one-shot footage here. At least you're actually seeing some strategy involved here. You can see most of my abilities weren't actually on to cooldown. So the Cyclops gets the ability to go, and then Phoenix even lands the abilities. But again, I think because my team is just higher than what the intended difficulty is, that we're still going to breeze by here. But you can see how obviously this can be problematic if you have a weaker team than the one I'm using right now. Thankfully, we got the special there. Can actually do the cleanse. And then we just need to get our abilities going again. Thank you, finally. So we got Nick Fury getting the minions out. That's going to help out for just soaking up damage. But we haven't really got much damage with this team, unfortunately. Gonna do some passive attacks there. Burst down. Okay. Yeah, and then what I do like about these minions is they can give some nice like natural heals and support. But yeah, I do want to focus AoE damage burst. There we go. Finally getting some turns there. So really, it's gonna be managing the cooldowns, especially with the burst attack. But then after that, it's super smooth. And then we're gonna finish this up here. Maybe I should have just saved the special, but it doesn't matter. We're not gonna. I don't think we'll be using. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we'll be using global skill. This is the last one, guys. So I think this is a good wrap because this is right at the very end of the section here, and it's 14 minutes here. So cell 13, from cell 1 to cell 13. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I'm gonna have the other parts of my video working on the next few sections, then being City Mystic and beyond. I'm gonna document everything for you guys and link it all below, so that way when you're working through the videos, you can also just navigate that as well, guys. So hopefully this helps you out. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one pretty shortly here.